Good afternoon, everybody. 大家好. My name is Heng Sure. Today is Monday, November 6th, here in the Gold Coast of Queensland. It's Sunday evening, November 5th in California. Glad to have you with us. We're going to be looking into the Flower Garland Sutra's Ten Transferences chapter once again. And to get us underway, we're going to ask Alan to request Dharma. 我叫恒实今天是11月6号，在澳大利亚，在万佛圣城是5号，我们大家集合来研究大方广佛华严经就明白这个十回向品的菩萨怎么样修法，怎么样就发心所以我们先请 Alan 就来请法。So, Alan, if you would like to request Dharma, let me first ring the bell. We'll do 3 half bows and then ask you to request Dharma. 我们先行3问讯礼。好了 Okay, Alan, if you'd like to request Dharma, please do it now.
恭请大德圣听，为此法会，及一切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死，离苦得乐，殊证无生。Will the Sangha, with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to leave suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo sadanto suchedoye arahati samya sambuddhosye.
Namo sadanto suchedoye arahati samya sambuddhosye.
无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered even in billions of eons. But now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. Alrighty. Alan, we appreciate the Dharma request. Welcome everybody. 欢迎各位我们已经开始了。那就说师父上人，各位师兄，我们回来继续研究华严经。这个我们可以殷请华严海会佛菩萨、天龙八部、护法神神，所有的像听华严经的各位我们都非常非常欢迎那么如果我们诚心的话，如法来请，我们都希望 华严海会佛菩萨都会莅临道场哈。So let's be sincere and invite the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas of the Avatamsaka assembly to draw near to bless everyone to attend our assembly. Here we go. Furthermore, we would like to respectfully acknowledge the Pomo people who practice spiritual connections to the earth and to all creation here, meaning city of 10,000 Buddhas, on their ancestral land for tens of thousands of years. Today we acknowledge them as traditional custodians and original storytellers of these lands. We offer our respect to their elders past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded. 就说婆摩人在他们祖先的土地上，就是现在的万佛圣城，修炼着他们与土地和万物的精神联系已有数万年。今天我们承认他们是这些土地的传统监护人或原始讲故事的人。并且向他们过去、现在和新兴的长老们表示敬意，以及主权从未被割让的所有第一民族人民们表示致敬。And we have the bell song. Bell sound wide resounds throughout 100 million worlds. The Buddha's law is heard and spread all throughout the triple world. The wondrous sounds that everywhere fill the Dharma realm with peace. May those who hear it gain the strength to follow in faith the Buddha's path. Okay. Now, you may be in the background, you folks may be able to hear the rain falling. We have some blessed sweet dew rain here in the Gold Coast these last 2 days. Yesterday was a big rainstorm, and today we have rain as well. And in the last couple of weeks, we've been into the bushfire season already. So to be able to, here comes the rain again, to be able to have the rain come down and know that it's dousing the fires is a great joy. So if you're hearing the noise, that's what it is. Well, I have under my roof here a number of very large birds who have settled onto the railing to wait out the rain. It's very nice to have companions here taking shelter. We take shelter in the sutra, they're taking shelter under the roof. They all get to listen to the sutra lecture as well. 你们可能在后边会听到雨滴的声音。昨天下大雨，今天又下雨了。因为这里澳大利亚旱灾，这个最近就怕这个野火、森林大火会接近，所以这几天下大雨，所以大家就叹一口气了很高兴听到下雨声音。同时呢，我的栏杆外边有好几只大身体的巧鸟，有火鸡，有鹦鹉，在那儿，他们等待雨停下了，他们才走。同时，你们也可以听到华严经啊，种下最高的这种的菩提种子你们好好听。Okay. Let's see now. Today, very happy to see, let's see here. Okay, there we are. Who do we have with us? City of 10,000 Buddhas is undergoing a COVID epidemic right now. So I hope everybody is taking appropriate precautions. And this lecture is canceled in CTDB, but we have so many friends worldwide who want to hear the lecture that we couldn't stop, certainly, as long as I have breath and can speak. Further, because this time next week, I will be in Shanghai on my way to Hangzhou. So Dharma Master Heng Sure is going to carry on the sutra lectures for the next 2 weeks, just to let everybody know. 因为万佛圣城现在疫情严重，好几个人呢就被传染，所以今天的讲座呢不到万佛城，可是你们各位就热心，全世界有人想听佛法，所以我们都继续。话说回来了，我自己本人下个礼拜呢就会在上海，然后去杭州、去北京，所以恒实法师他发心，他说可以，他就会带来讲。你们下个礼拜、再下个礼拜会听到恒实法师讲法，讲经。Okay, so we have Alan, we know, is our Dharma requester from City of 10,000 Buddhas. Our co-host is Cheng Weihua in Beijing. We have friends in Los Angeles. We have friends in Washington State. We have Barbara Waugh here and Bob Lawton, both from the Mendocino County area around CTDB. We have friends from Kuala Lumpur, Newbury Park, Sunnyvale, Calgary, Alberta, Fremont, California, Round Rock, Texas. Yes, indeed. Heilongjiang, Manchuria, Dublin, Ohio. Also from, where is this now? From, let's see here, from Hubei. 湖北人不多，来听法。好，欢迎欢迎。Okay, 广东省 San Jose, 台北 welcome, 辽宁 also Manchuria, 深圳，还有浙江 Sacramento, okay, Berkeley, Seattle, 北京，okay, City of 10,000 Buddhas, Seattle, Montreal. Have to say it, la belle province de Québec. Oui, c'est ça. From Heilongjiang, from, let's see here, Union City, from South San Francisco, Seattle, San Jose, Guangzhou, okay, welcome. Guangzhou down in the south, San Gabriel down in LA area, San Jose, Malaysia, San Francisco, Seattle, city of 10,000 Buddhas. Let's see here, Vietnam, Virginia, Pleiku, Vietnam. Welcome, Yendo. Okay. Ukaya. Okay, good. Friends from Malaysia. Malaysia, lots of friends today. Also, Taipei. Let's see here. That would be Zhongguo, Zhejiang, Haining. Okay, good. Now, everyone else is from China. Beijing, Guangzhou. Let's see here. Hebei, Tangshan. Shanghai. 还有呢？还有黑龙江。杭州。杭州2位信封，欢迎。3位、4位，哇，风加多。OK， 辽宁，呼和浩特、内蒙古、黑龙江、山东、辽宁、北京，就说湖南 ，OK， 湖南，台北、云林 ，OK， 欢迎，安徽宿州、圣河西、新北市、上海 ，right across the Taiwan Straits, that's the way it should be. 湖南 ，let the Dharma be the bridge, OK， 安徽，还有呢，就说，还有什么地方？黑龙江、江苏、镇江 ，OK， 佛教的地方，呼和浩特、深圳、南京、西雅图、北京、吉隆坡、洛杉矶，那不是中国，辽宁、广东、山东、上海。Okay, there we did it. Over 100 friends today, and nobody from CTDB. What you're looking at on my screen, can you all see my desktop? This is fledging season. Baby birds are now, that were born in the spring here in Australia, have now grown up in the nest, and they are taking their first flapping, usually failure flights out of the nest, landing on the ground. And there's a few days, 2 or 3 days, when there's a lot of danger for baby birds because they are on their feet, they're pedestrians. And their parents have to fly back and forth, chasing away any cats or foxes or dogs that might take an interest in a brand new baby bird. Then at a certain point, they flap, and they can make it up back to the nest. And at that point, their education as birds begins. They have to go through bird school to learn what to eat, what not to eat, where to fly, where not to fly. So here is a very calm bodhisattva mother Kurawang feeding her 3 offspring. Look at the look on her face. She is like, oh my God, this is one down, 2 more screaming birds to feed. Because these fledglings are noisy, hungry. So that's what you're seeing, and it's happening on all sides. 现在小巧鸟，快能起飞，你看这个母鸟，它喂3个孩子，那个孩子他们可以 flap， 翅膀可以晕在空中，可是不能维持能起飞，所以呢掉到地下。过了2、3天非常危险，因为它们不能飞。可是有小猫，有狗，有狐狸，都可以吃这个很嫩的一个小巧鸟。等2、3天，它们就每天家里现在起飞了，然后父母开始教他们怎么样做鸟。你看现在就是一个母鸟喂3个孩子，哎呦。他的表情就是很疲劳，喂一个有2个还在那儿叫，呱，很有趣，每年就是这样子，我可以看到 ，this phenomenon of birds fledging is part of the circle of life. See it every year. It's really wonderful to watch and tragic because sometimes the baby birds don't survive the fledging, but those who do. Become grown-up birds, and then they take their turn feeding the next generation. So, yes, indeed. Here's our text for today. We're in the 7th transference, 第7回向, and it's a wonderful section because we're at the very beginning, and we're learning from the new perspective, how the Bodhisattva does the second kind of giving with the mind, called transference, dedication. Okay. We'll start right here and read from 佛子菩萨摩萨 down to 永不退转. Okay, ready. Let's make it big. Here we go. 佛子菩萨摩萨以净志愿菩提心力，修诸善根时，作是念念。此诸善根是菩提心之所积集，是菩提心之所思维，是菩提心之所发起，是菩提心之所制要，是菩提心之所增益，皆为怜悯一切众生，皆为去求一切种子，皆为成就如来实力。做事念时，善根增进，永不退转。Here we go. Disciples of the Buddha, as bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, cultivate these good roots through pure vows and the power of their Bodhi resolve. They reflect as follows. All these good roots are amassed by virtue of the Bodhi resolve, are contemplated by virtue of the Bodhi resolve, are brought forth by virtue of the Bodhi resolve, are aspired to by virtue of the Bodhi resolve, and are enhanced by virtue of the Bodhi resolve. This is all out of sympathy for living beings, all for the sake of seeking omniscient wisdom, and all for the sake of perfecting the 10 powers of the Tathagatas. Reflecting in this way, bodhisattvas strengthen their good roots and remain forever irreversible in their resolve. Okay. What we have been hearing about are good roots. Roots of goodness, wholesome qualities, may be translated just as goodness in the heart of bodhisattvas. And it is the goodness, in Chinese, the shangan, that allows transference to happen. So it's a big deal, understanding what are shangan, and how do you get them, how do you cultivate them, how do you make them grow, then how do you share them? That's the big question with the seventh transference here. 我们继续研究什么叫善根。善根呢，是回向功德的资源。没有善根就不能回向，没有什么可以回向。这个第7回向呢，就一开始就告诉我们，菩萨对善根是用什么态度，他们怎么样尊重善根，怎么样栽培善根。就刚刚上个礼拜讲完了，现在又进行这个第7回向的应该说主要的内容。Okay, so once the topic has been announced, the good roots, the next step is this is always the preface of each new practice of the 10 practices, transference of the 10 transferences, kind of sets the stage. Then we get if this was a banquet, this would be the entree. This is the main course for the chapter. What does it say? It says, disciples of the Buddha, as bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, the great ones, the exemplars among bodhisattvas, cultivate good roots through their pure vows and the power of their Bodhi resolve. This is what's going on inside their minds. what is it? It's all these good roots come together because of the Putishin. All of these good roots I can contemplate because of the Putishin. All of these good roots, the Chinese says, fa qi, brought forth by. They have been lifted up because of the Bodhi resolve. Furthermore, because they are the Shi Yao, the resolve and the aspiration, it's a good translation, of the Bodhi resolve. And then finally, the Zeng Yi, added to, increased, multiplied by virtue of the Bodhi resolve. Okay, now I'm going to, have I done this? Let's see, I may have it here in my notes. Oh, not that. I want notes. There we go. Bigger, please. Okay, there we go. See, Putishin. Checking. Pusafa Lu. Wholesome Dharmas. Shangun, that was the last one. Okay, so I'll plug everybody in here. Okay, we'll park that one. Share the screen. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Bodhi resolve. Bodhi citta. Thought for enlightenment. Wish for enlightenment. Chinese is Pu Ti Xin and Shang. Oops, one more time. Cheng Fu Dao, comma, Xia Hua Zhong Sheng. Okay, there we go. We'll make this a little bit bigger. There we go. Okay, what are we looking at? This is a big deal. And I have to say, when I first arrived at Gold Mountain Monastery, 1971, 72, 73, I heard this, I think maybe for the first time. I had run across it in books, but it had never sunk in. And among the various terms that Master Hua used a lot, like merit and virtue, like karmic mistakes, like cause and effect, all of these, and the Bodhisattva path, cultivate the way. These words that we heard a lot, this one came up over and over and over again, and it just bounced right off my ears. It didn't strike me as particularly important or worthwhile, and yet Shifu would talk about it over and over and over again. And I never got it. Then when I remember I attended a lecture by a famous Tibetan Buddhist teacher whose name I probably shouldn't mention. And he talked about bodhicitta. And clearly in the Tibetan Buddhist world, part of the Mahayana tradition, bodhicitta, bodhi resolve, was very important. And then I remember Lama Zopa Rinpoche was another Tibetan teacher who I had occasion to staying at Land of Medicine Buddha down in Santa Cruz and teaching down there. Oh my goodness, bodhicitta, super important and recommended for people to make the bodhicitta. And I still had no idea. What was it? What's the bodhicitta? 菩提心. And so here is Shifu just saying that this is a turning point. This is really, really important. And you should all pay close attention to this. Didn't get it. Still didn't get it. Then my personal story, 3 steps, 1 bow. Arrived at city of 10,000 Buddhas. And what was the first thing that Master Hua did? He invited Dharma Master Huiseng, his friend and companion on the way, Tongchan Daoyou, Huiseng Lao Fa Shi from Shinjapur, to come to CTB to do what? To explain Quan Fa Puti Xinwen, the resolve, the essay on the resolve for Bodhi. Quan Fa Puti, the exhortation to make the Bodhi resolve. Essentially, Shifu was flashing a neon sign in our faces and saying, this is important, like that. Did I get it? No, I listened. And Huiseng Lao Fa Shi only lectured, I think, the first 2/3. He had to go back to Singapore. So Shifu stepped in and finished the essay himself, series of 10 or 12 lectures. So it was just underscored, just underlined, this is really important. And only after I started translating the Avatamsaka Sutra, in particular, chapter 39, the pilgrimage of Sudana, did I, on my own, think, I don't understand this. Why is it so important? So in the Ru Fa Jie Pin, Bodhi Resolve chapter, this was, here was Sudana talking about the Bodhi Resolve. In particular, Bodhisattva Maitreya, who welcomes Sudana into Vairochana's jeweled pagoda at the end of the pilgrimage. Success is hinging on this last visit. Then Maitreya Bodhisattva praises the Bodhi Resolve 100 times. And Sudana absorbs that teaching. And it was like, I guess that's really important, isn't it? 就是说，我自己，我个人先到了王佛上城，不，先到了金山寺，在旧金山。1971、1972、1973年，就听到玄华上人讲了很多菩提心，要发大菩提心。这个菩提心重要，他就再三强调菩提心的重要性。我听了，好像变风过耳，这边进去，这边出来，没有太注意了。菩提心，我会点点头，对，什么叫菩提心？不晓得。然后呢，我记得参加一些藏传的这个卡吉帕、萨吉帕这些法师，他们都说 bodhicitta important， 很 very important。So 他们也强调菩提心。菩提心呢，讲心讲意，不太明白。然后呢，你说多么重要，商人，你听师父讲法，你会在很多次听到他说，要就说栽培自己的善功德，你要就是要护持6大宗旨，他会这样的强调，他会说，要不要错因果，一定要修道，这样子，这些冥想都会听了很多，没有一个比这个菩提心要发大菩提心的重要性听得多。我还不能说真的掌握它的重要性。然后就说3步1拜朝山，到了万佛城，师父怎么做呢？他就请上慧下僧老法师、慧僧老法师到了万佛城来讲文，讲法。什么文呢？ 劝发菩提心文。意思是说，师父就说，这个很重要啊，你们还不懂啊，重要。慧生老法师因为要回去新加坡，就讲了大概2/3，师父自己本身就把这个最后1/3讲完了。等我读一读入法界品，应该说才明白它的重要性。我虽然听师父讲了很多，我还是不能说真的双手掌握，自己想知道它是什么意思。所以呢，那个是这么一回事，在入法界品善财童子就问了很多的善知识，就说大圣，你可不可以给我讲你是最初怎么一回事发菩提心？你最早发菩提心是在哪里？是什么情形？他就问他，然后等到最后，本来53/3到了第51，就是弥勒菩萨，弥勒菩萨就讲了100个菩提心的比喻，真的那个时候你就说哦，这才重要。Okay, so here's the point. Here's our Bodhisattva in the 10 Transferences, Transference number 7, saying that if it wasn't for the Bodhi resolve, what does he say? He says, all the good roots come about because of the Bodhi resolve. I can think about them because of the Bodhi resolve. I can create good roots because of the Bodhi resolve, and I can hope to realize them because of the Bodhi resolve. They are, in those good roots that I depend on, come from the Bodhi resolve. That's pretty clear, okay? Now, what is it? What is the Bodhi resolve? And you ask the Chinese, and they always go, oh, Puti Xin Shang Cheng Fo Dao Xia Hua Zhong Sheng. Say, it's above, accomplish the Buddha way, below, teach living beings. And that's what I understood. And it was like, I don't get it. There's a problem in that translation, in that understanding of the Bodhi resolve, which is what? If Shang Cheng Fo Dao means above, then you have to like do this, and that means the Buddha is somewhere up there with Chakra, Devanam Indra, with God in heaven, and living beings are somewhere down below. Who's down there? Maybe in the hells. There's this split in direction between the power figure of above, where we think of theistic religions think of a divinity, and the poor suffering living beings down below, where, we're down here suffering, separate from the Buddha. That's a non-dharma. Doesn't work that way. That's not the way the teaching goes, which is what? The Buddha, the mind, and living beings are three and in one. You look here for the Buddha in the mind, the human mind, not of above and down below. So clearly, my understanding of the right way to translate the Bodhi resolve, if this is the explanation, is flawed. I got it wrong. It occurred to me not that long ago that there's an alternative way to translate and to understand the Bodhi resolve. The Shang, this word, this guy right here, can mean ultimate, highest, best. And the Xia can mean immediate, now, start. So, what is the idea? We say, my ultimate perfection, my potential for ultimate perfection of my humanity lies in becoming a Buddha. That's the first half of the Bodhi resolve. And my method for realizing that accomplishment type lies in immediately teaching, getting to work, my typing, sorry, teaching living beings. In other words, it is the above and below are not directions. They are times. Ultimately and immediately. There. So, get it this way. Shang doesn't mean above. That is a correct translation of that character Shang, but it's the wrong translation, the wrong variant translation for this phrase. It means my ultimate perfection is Buddhahood, and my immediate action is getting to work with my own living beings. My potential for ultimate perfection of my humanity lies in becoming a Buddha. And you could even say, someday, ultimately. My method for realizing that accomplishment lies in immediately getting to work to teach living beings and changing my bad habits and faults. Now, there. That sounds like Shifu's teaching. The above and the below, the Shangcheng Fo Dao and the Xiaohua Zhongsheng, are not directional, they're temporal. They are temporal. Times. Ultimately, in the future, and right now. Right? Now, plug that in to the Bodhi resolve, and, oh, that's different. That makes sense. 这个意思是说，你问中国人，什么叫菩提心？他们马上答复你说：上乘佛道，下化众生。这里我倒不明白，上下是不是方向？是不是上边是佛，他在很高的地方，可能在兜率天内院里边，然后众生在哪里？地狱、恶鬼、畜生下边？不对，不对。佛、众生、心一是三而为一，对不对？都在心里边，不是在上边，在下边。你如果要抬头往上边看，那就是上帝给造主。佛才不是在离开众生，然后众生在下边，这种距离是非法。那这样子了解，这样子解释应该不对。那可是我一向都认为是上下。最近才想想，如果是我们佛教徒，不要向外去求，我们要看看佛。要往内再回光，在里边找修，然后呢，佛会实现。所以呢，上乘佛道，下化众生是什么意思呢？上就是说究竟我的最高的一个潜能是成佛，我有成佛的资格。可是怎么做呢？马上当下就当下。究竟，and 当下 ，there， 就是这个意思。我如果要成就那个最究竟的这个目标，那就马上当下开始度众生，开始化众生，就对了。Okay, does that make sense? So the issue becomes potential. That's how I understand the Bodhi resolve right now. Is you say, you ask yourself, what's my potential? What can I become? What is my ultimate potential? And there's the challenge, isn't it? Because the Bodhi resolve has to be, you have to think big. You have to look far. Say, I'm not a Buddha now, but I believe I can do so. I believe I can become a Buddha. So how do I do it? Well, you have to have that thought. It's a shin. It's a thought like any other, but this thought encompasses your potential and says, I'm not going to be satisfied with a life of ease, of kicking back and enjoying myself. That's nothing wrong with that. It's just not going to help. It won't bring liberation and it won't bring happiness either. Whereas extending yourself to benefiting others, to cultivating blessings and wisdom, that can be a life at night before you sleep. You can feel like today was well used and tomorrow's going to be even better. So there's this sense of moving inside to realize your highest potential for wisdom and compassion. That's the Bodhi resolve. And it's, there's all kinds of, once you have that thought, you aren't satisfied with hanging out, Netflix and chilling with a pint of ice cream. It doesn't satisfy because a bodhisattva is tuned into suffering. She can hear the voices of those living beings in your own heart who are upset with you because you haven't been listening to them. You've been following desire instead. Speaking personally, I should not talk about you, talking about myself. So knowing when I sell my own living being short, after a while, you have to get out and bow to the Buddha, have to keep reciting, you have to be kind, you have to reduce the profanity and quit those habits, because those living beings inside won't let you rest if you don't, right? That's a good thing, not a bad thing. So that's the Bodhi resolve. And it's suddenly made sense because it is the springboard for lifetimes of practice. It's the fuse that burns its way up to the fuel source that powers your cultivation vehicle down the road, right? So that's my thought on it now. And that's why I think I recognize, I wish I could check it with Shifu and see if how he would react to this interpretation. So 就说上是说究竟，下是说当下。究竟你问自己，到底你这个人这一辈子你可以成就什么？你可以做什么样的人？你就问自己，真正问去。那么不要德高就说这么那个有个成语，得少为主，是吗？得少为主，就一定要给自己立个挑战，说我知道我可以成佛那为什么还没有？因为我还没有改掉我的习气和毛病我还有很多烦恼还没有改。结果呢 我就还是拖泥带水啊。想修行就总是有一个理由不修行，这样子。那么内在的众生，时间久了，他们不满意，他们一定会闹你。你说一定要修行，哦，那好，那个是一个好的现象啊，你就好洗洗脸、洗洗手去礼佛啊，就把这个大悲咒、楞严咒背熟了，一句一句的背熟。慢慢的，这个恶口改掉了，以后不要再骂人，啊，那么这个恶习气，抽烟啊、喝酒什么就改掉了，啊，这样子呢，下化众生，当下开始度众生，所以菩提心是成佛的一个真正的元老，真正的一个启发点，啊，应该菩提心是这样子才对。Okay, I think that's so enough of the question. Is potential is the question. Your potential, my potential. What can I become? Why settle for less? Once you have this thought, it becomes a new center of your life when you're working from your potential. And it has no external measurement. That's the interesting thing. It's not that you get brownie points or merit badges like a Boy Scout on your sash. Nobody can see it, but I understand that Buddhas and Bodhisattvas know, and Dharma protectors, and when somebody has made the Bodhi resolve, they dance for joy. 什么时候发菩提心，一切都不一样了。从那个时候开始，真正你为人不一样了，你的目标不同，你就有早上下床的一个理由啊。这个菩提心呢是听说诸佛菩萨、护法上生都会看得到，其他人也看不到。你没有任何的外表的表现，这个改变了，你可是里边都不一样啊，那是一种 orientation 不同，所以它太重要。Okay, there we go. Moving forward, why do bodhisattvas make the Bodhi resolve? Because they 怜悯, they see the pain, they see the suffering. Why else? They want to realize 一切种智. Furthermore, that's omniscient wisdom. They're looking for wisdom. So the sympathy for beings, compassion. Seeking wisdom, wisdom. Furthermore, look at this. 皆为成就如来势力. This sake of perfecting the 10 powers of the Tathagatas. Now, this one is really a big deal. And, why not? I can, let's see, I'm going to temporarily go out here. Buddha Dharma Quarterly. Buddha Dharma Quarterly. There we are. Practitioners Quarterly. Let me see. I want to find it first before I see here. The magazine. There we go. And I don't know if we can search. Here we go. Doing a search. Let's see here. Here it is right there. Okay, let me pop this into our chat box, and please tell me if you all can download this. Hold on. Whether you can read this. Is that available or does it come up against a paywall? 这个你们可以打开吗？或者呢，必须要付钱？这是我写的一篇文章，最近登的，对于如来释利。This is a selfish promotion of an article that I wrote for Lion's Roar magazine recently, just in June. And here is my explanation of the 10 powers of the Tathagata. 这个不知道你们能不能打开？ Can you all open that or not? I don't know. It's this may be free, it may be for pay. What's the story? Any luck getting it open? Yeah, good. Okay, there we go. Hot dog. Okay, so it's a free article. If you want to read what I know about the 10 wisdom powers, there's an article. It's beautifully illustrated. Look, it's really well presented. This is Lion's Roar magazine, which is a serious, valuable contribution every month. I can recommend this magazine. 这个是那个狮子吼杂志，是对于修行、对于佛法很郑重其事一篇杂志，英文的杂志。他们每个好像1年4次 quarterly， 1年4次他们就登了。他们是跟着题目这次题目是智慧。So I wrote about the 10 wisdom powers, and you all can check out what I know about them right here. Okay, there you go. Now, what is it? What are the 10 powers and why are they important? These are power tools for teaching. And if you have ever come up against someone whom you really wanted to help with the Dharma, maybe you know somebody who you just wish they would wake up, and someone you're related to, someone you care deeply about, and you can't figure them out, you don't know why they do what they do. If you had the Tathagata's 10 wisdom powers, oh my goodness, you would know exactly what to say, exactly what not to say, exactly what to do, exactly what to avoid, so that you could teach them. That's what the 10 powers of the Tathagatas are. They are diagnostic tools for giving you the exact insight into this living being's past lives, this living being's potentials for understanding, this living being's realm that they come from, what this living being understands and what they don't understand. It gives you the Deva eye, the Tianyan. It gives you the knowledge of the karmic habits of this living being. What are their habits? What are they likely to do with how you teach? And with all of their 10 in particular, and all of these skills give you an absolutely pinpoint understanding of such and such living being, and you know exactly how to teach them. 这个如来释利哈，我刚刚登这个杂志一篇文章，是我自己写一篇文章，最近6月份登在这个杂志。对于如来释利，这个如来释利是什么呢？就是工具如果你认识某某人，你想用佛法来让他开悟或者呢这个人呢你跟这个人有关系的有缘，不过你真的想尽办法令他改恶向善呢，他还是不听话你如果有这种情形，你真的想了解他为什么这么说，为什么这么做呢？如果你有如来释利一清一楚，这个人的过去的生命 这个人的习气毛病，他的身口意三业，他的所了解多少，他的六根呢？他是那个他这个应该说他的器官呢，健康不健康？你有用天眼，用他心通，你就一清一楚，你就会度这个人，因为你知道怎么说怎么做。所以这个菩萨也有，如来也有10种智慧力量，他们就用这些力量度众生。所以我们如果能像菩萨，你看他们修行就是为了这个，因为一有那个了，就度众生不容易就变成容易，非常难做就变成不难。Reflecting in this way, bodhisattvas strengthen their good roots and remain forever irreversible in their resolve. They're not Buddhas yet, but with these abilities, they are, every day they improve their bodhi resolve. Every day they increase their joy in teaching others. So that's the story. 做事念是菩萨增进善根增进就说永不退转。菩萨有这种的动机目标，他们一天比一天菩提心增长，一天比一天他们欢喜修道就更多了。Okay, gonna move on here. 佛子菩萨摩诃萨复作是念：愿我以此善根果报，尽未来劫修菩萨行，悉以会施一切众生，悉以回向一切众生，普遍无余。Disciples of the Buddha, Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas further reflect as follows. With the rewards from these good roots, I will cultivate bodhisattva practices to the ends of future eons, benefiting every living being, and completely dedicating such rewards to each and every one of them without exception. So here is a vow. This is a bodhisattva's vow. Pretty good, pretty clear. Here it is. What does he say? What does she say? With all the good roots that we talked about that come from this cultivation, I want them to power me into future lives as cultivator. To the end of future eons, I want to meet with teachers. I want to hear the sutras. I want to understand how to cultivate, how to practice, how to meditate, how to chant, how to recite, how to serve, how to take my body, mouth, and mind to purity. I want to understand how to hold the precepts. I want to have all these different practices following Samantabhadra Bodhisattvas, following Guanyin Bodhisattva, Erstor Bodhisattva, Manjushri Bodhisattva. I want to meet them all when I'm young and find good friends so I can help people. And all of the goodness that comes from this, I give to them without exception. This is a recipe for selflessness. Notice that in this vow, there's no selfishness. Where would the self stand in this vow? This is completely altruistic and selfless. That humanity can have a thought like this, because cultivating bodhisattva practices is hard, sometimes painful. And this bodhisattva says, yep, that's what I want, because I can't think of anything better to do. Helping people get past their misery and their pain, bringing them joy, is a life well lived. This is great. I want to do this. And dedicating these rewards to them is the practice of transference. 这是菩萨所发的愿。你看这个愿力，他就说，这是菩萨心里边，他说愿以此善根果报，就说更多的善根这个功德啊，尽未来劫修菩萨行，这是我愿意做的。我用这个果报换带一个修菩萨行的机会，悉以回施一切众生，然后呢，把这个修行的善根果报回向给一切众生，普遍无余。这种念头啊，是大不自私，一点都不自私，这是完全是不自私不自利的一个念头。这样子呢，他的把这个所有的好处完全布施出去了。他这样子呢，我相我见哪里存在呢？立不住。这样子发这个心呢，你就那个我相啊，那个 ego 就没有站的地方啊，丝毫的就立住的地方就没有了。他还有呢，大家要注意了哈，修菩萨行不是很舒服的，这是很苦的啊。这个不是很苦，是苦也有乐。不过呢，你说菩萨有这种的价值观呢，他就跟一般的众生大不同，不一样的。Alrighty, we're going to stop it here for now. The Bodhisattva makes more vows. Look at these amazing vows. He wants to get all kinds of beautiful things to give. And again, because of the giving, he's going to, what? He's going to get the goodness and then give it away with transference. 菩萨在想拿到将来很多宝贵的东西，他要用它来布施供养，然后就把这个好处啊，再用一念心回向功德。Okay, alrighty. Wet birds outside. Yep. Like this one. How about that? Hello. This fellow is right outside my door at the moment. How you doing? All right. Okay, what's going on in the Tang Dynasty? Qian du er da he, 西履平川，行数百里，入曲直国界，将近王都，王与纯臣，起大德僧，木叉居多等来迎，自外诸僧数千。皆于城东门外，张福曼，安心向坐月而住。Continuing next day, he crossed the big river, and after traveling for several hundred li across a plain towards the west, he entered the territory of the country of Kucha. As he approached the royal city, the king and his ministers and monks of great virtue, including Mokshagupta and others, came out to receive him. Several thousand monks have made encampments outside the eastern gate of the city and installed Buddha images in them. They stayed in the camps and played music. Okay, what's going on? Look, big river. What's it like when you are out in the wilds where there's no bridges and you have to cross a big river? you know what happens? You get wet. You get the tallest horse you can and put your valuables on your back out of the water, and you cross, and you really hope that there aren't any crocodiles. You really hope that there aren't any big waves, and you get wet, and you come out the other side. It takes a while to dry off while you ride in your saddle and you chafe. Okay, this is rigors of travel. 就玄奘大师渡二大河。Wow. Two. Continuing next day, he crossed two big rivers. 不是 a big river, two big rivers. 这个你渡一条河在就说在偏僻的地方没有桥梁，怎么样呢？你就湿了，你跳到水里边去了。你如果有骑一匹马，你要最高的马，你就希望你可以坐在它的背后，就不那个水不会淹得太高。你的宝贵的东西了，或者怕水的东西了，你放在背上，希望你不会掉到水里。然后呢，到了彼岸了，你出来了，你整个裤子啊、鞋子都湿了一会儿，很不舒服。这就是就是在路上旅游的一些困难。Okay, traveled a couple hundred li across a plain going west. Entered the territory of the country of Kucha. We'll find out more. Now, coming to the royal city of this country, the king and the ministers and the monks of great virtue and this guy came out to meet Master Shenzong. They knew he was coming. And look, several thousand monks, count them, several thousand monks had come outside the eastern gate of the city, outside, made a camp, and brought Buddha images. And now they were in those tent camps chanting for the Buddhas. Li Shangzan. 还有什么？还有这个巴利文，还有这个那个Parita chanting. Right? They were chanting, playing music in the tents. Look at that. 就说到了这个龟兹国、屈之国，这个屈之国，他们已经知道玄奘法师来了，所以呢，国王还有几千个出家人，那么多，还有大德僧团，还有一个叫木叉居多，他们都出来了，到了这个东门外边，因为这些城市当然有四门，有高的墙壁保护这个国民他们到了门外就立个帐篷在里边唱诵做音乐欢迎玄奘大师。So of course one of the main things that a city out in the boondocks had to have was tall walls. Those walls were your first protection against invasion. So, and the walls had gates. Now, Master Shenzong had come, as he was approaching, he realized that the king had ordered his subjects, several thousand monks, to probably to set up tents outside and bring Buddha images and chant for them. Can you hear the Pali chanting? Must have sounded really good. 法师至，诸德起来，上位气，各还就坐。使医僧 请鲜花一盘来受法师，法师授仪，将至佛前散花。礼拜七，就木叉居多下座，座以抚心华，心花以行葡萄浆，一出一似手花，受将矣。此受于是一耳，如是讲转，日宴方气，僧徒始散。Big deal, big ceremony. When the master arrived, the virtuous monks rose and greeted him. Having done so, they returned to their seats. They ordered a monk to hand a tray full of fresh flowers to the master. Okay, this is a ceremony, and this is protocol. This is monk's diplomacy. He received the flowers, and he offered them to the Buddha images, to the ones he bowed to. So the Chinese says he scattered the flowers. So he went in front of the Buddhas and sanhua. Then he bowed. He bowed to the Buddhas, and he took his seat. 就木叉多下座，就木叉多下座。I first read that as after Master Shenzong bowed to the Buddha, that's when this Mokshagupta got down off his seat. That's how I interpreted that. The translator interprets it differently. After this, he took a seat besides Mokshagupta. I think Mokshagupta stayed seated. Why? Because he is portrayed as an arrogant guy. When he again seated himself, more flowers were offered to him, and after the flowers, grape juice was given to him. Look at this. All of you at City of 10,000 Buddhas, pay attention here. Take a look at the value of grape juice. So if this were an ordinary, normal, non-Buddhist event, what would be offered? Wine, fermented grape juice. But Master Shenzong was a monk, so they're not going to give him intoxicants, they gave him grape juice. And I just bet that the grapes out there were absolutely yummy, delicious, sweet grapes. It's a desert area, so probably the grape juice was very special. 就说大师他们派一个和尚拿一托盘，托盘有花朵，就给他。那么大师呢，他就把这个花了散在佛像的上边，就礼拜顶礼。然后礼拜七就说就木叉居多，那个时候就下座，不太清楚是谁，我好像那个木叉居多还没有起来欢迎，等玄奘大师顶礼之后，他才下座，是不是这么说？意思是这个人木叉居多比较自大，比较自满，然后他们坐下，付行花，他们又给玄奘大师一些花，行花以行葡萄浆。各位万佛商城的佛友，葡萄浆多么重要哦！因为是佛教的和尚，所以呢，他们不封酒。如果是另外一个国王啊，或者什么贵宾呢，一定会拿酒来，因为就持这个饮酒戒，所以就给他葡萄汁。因为沙漠天气热，我相信这个葡萄酱是非常香，很好，很甜。So, having received flowers and grape juice as a welcome in the first camp, he had to go from camp to camp until sunset when the monks began to disperse. there is this custom in Chinese banquet culture called 敬酒, where you go from table to table and hold up your wine glass and give a toast to everybody, the 10 people at the table. They hold up their glasses and you have to drink. And if you're the guest of honor, you have to drink at every table. So 敬酒. It's a way to get drunk really quick. And so, of course, Master Shenzong is not going to be drinking alcohol, but he is still, there were thousands of monks. So how many tents did he have to go visit? But this is Jian. You really do. Jian. You tie up affinities with the monks for future connections. And they got to see the real young, bright star of the Chinese Mahayana. Probably they didn't see many like him ever in a lifetime. 我们中国人有宴会的时候，大家来敬酒。敬酒就是你是贵宾的话，可能有10个桌子哈，100个客人，一个桌子10个人，你就那个贵宾呢要这个吃完了饭或者吃饭前，就到每一个桌子来干杯。这个每一个人都有机会跟他敬酒。这样子，很容易就不小心都会喝醉。那么出家人没有这个习惯的，所以喝葡萄浆、葡萄汁。这种仪式是结缘玄奘大师看到那么多出家众几千个，他就跟他们有个缘分，就立这个佛缘。将来都有善缘可以回来所以这个是有它的价值，而且这种这个仪式是应该说需要的，就是表示恭敬所以你看不容易你过一个大河，你就在这个野蛮的地方。到了某某城市还要按照他们的礼仪就表示礼貌。So it's difficult to be a guest. Traveling is tough. You got to have all kinds of skills because he's out there crossing rivers. He's out there being turned away by hostile kings. And now he's the big guest. He's got to know what to do when people hand you trays of flowers and cups of grape juice. Now, where is Kucha? Take a look. This is Kucha right there. This is where, let's put that away. This is China, Xinjiang. This is Xinjiang. Here's China. This is Xinjiang, the far west. That is Kucha, right here. It's in a county called Kuhar County, something, Kucha. Now, you can see what's so interesting about this is where he is in terms of Asia. He's right here. He started out in Xi'an, which is back here. He's come this far. He crossed the desert. And I guess Xi'an is here. Look what he's got to do next. Kucha is here. He's got to cross these mountains. That's trouble right there. Xinjiang is this basin. It's a basin, and he's right there where you can see my cursor. He has to... Right. Kucha is here, slightly mountainous. And this Kucha is an oasis. It's a place where high culture was established. The music of Kucha was famous throughout all of the Silk Road. They contributed the pipa, to Chinese music. We still play it. The arts, the culture, there were said to be 80,000 people living in this state, Qiuci, when Master Xuanzang came through. So it was a major stopping point. And it was look what's next. You have to cross these snowy mountains. 这个龟兹国、求兹国是在这里，如果这是这个这是中国，这个呢新疆，这个呢库察，龟兹国在这里。你看它这么远，好远哈。可是它有意思，就是这里是一种盆地，就说四周围就是高山。玄奘大师他还要过这个最高的山，他下一站就是这里。真的辛苦了。这个龟兹国呢，他们的音乐很特别，我们现在的琵琶，这个像吉他那个乐器了，是从龟兹国发明的。然后整个丝绸之路就知道这个地方是一个青州，是一个an oasis， 就是有树木有水。你可以离开沙漠到了这里，可以上瘾，可以喝水，就可以休息。然后呢，你要准备过这个最高的山。所以这里是文化大国。有人说，玄奘大师经过那里有8万人住那里，80,000 people. So it was a major stopping place on the Silk Road. That's where he is now. And this is here's a bodhisattva carving from Kucha. 这是库察人雕的这个菩萨像。有一个历史的人物，你们都听过了，他是库察的人，龟兹国。什么人呢？鸠摩罗什法师。Who do we know who was from Kucha? Master Kumarajiva. Kumarajiva, the 4th century monk who was so beloved for his translations. So when you live in an oasis on the Silk Road, you're exposed to lots of culture, and that was the case. So we are going to continue. What happens next time is a debate between Master Xuanzang and this Mokshagupta character. Now, next week and the following week, Dharma Master Heng Sure is going to be lecturing. I will be in China. So I will not see you all for 3 weeks. I'll be back in the 3rd week, if all goes well. That's what we're counting on. 我下个礼拜了，再下个礼拜到了中国去了。那么恒实法师恒实法师要跟大家解善法言。你们真的有这个应该说有很 lucky 兴趣，就能跟恒实法师结善缘。他呢是我们西方比丘尼桑的长老，一定的所以你们一定要告诉亲戚朋友，一定要来听听法。Okay, you have a chance next week, in the next 2 weeks, to listen to Dharma Master Heng Sure. She is the senior bhikshuni in the West among all ordained nuns. And to have a chance to hear her speak Dharma is pretty special. So you certainly want to tell all friends and relatives not to miss. Okay, I will see you in 3 weeks. I'll have stories and pictures from China. Let's dedicate merit. Here we go. May every living being, our minds as one, and radiant with light. Share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may our minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. This boundless light dispel the darkness of our endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. We can bow to the Buddhas together. Please join. 大家一起来礼佛。Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. That's going to do it for us for today. We'll see you all next week. 我们就到此为止。大家阿弥陀佛。See you in 3 weeks. 阿弥陀佛。Bye now.
Thank you, 师父老师。
阿弥陀佛。You bet.